Okay, Assalamualaikum and greetings to all my multinational corporations student. Okay, today I will explain the remaining part of our chapter 7, multinational and participation strategy, content and formulation. Okay, from the early class, I have explained what is the local responsiveness solutions, what is global integration solution, and I also have explained in detail the four multinational strategy, which is the multi-domestic, transnational, international, and regional. Okay, so I will proceed with the next part, which is resolving the global local dilemma, formulating a multinational strategy. So selection of strategy will depend on the degree of globalization of an industry. So there are globalization driver, which is the condition in an industry that favor either they want to apply transnational, they want to apply multi-domestic or international strategy. So basically there are four categories of global drivers, which is market, cost, government, and competition. Okay, I will explain about the global market. Okay, for the global market, okay, are there common customer needs? Okay, so automobile, pharmaceuticals, and consumer electronic industry. So as what we know, for this type of industry, the need of customer are converging. Converging means there's a trend by the firm will offer the same basic product worldwide. Okay, so Sony and Coca-Cola, they are able to sell their product to the global market where consumer are more and similar. Okay, so no need for this firm to do adaptation or customization for the different market. So they can sell or export the same product worldwide. So globalization of market doesn't mean the consumer are the same everywhere. Okay, although we are moving toward globalization of market, consumer taste and preferences are getting similar, the same. National market are still relevant. Okay, because of the differences in terms of cultural, differences in terms of the government requirement, okay, infrastructure and etc. So it will be a challenge for the company to develop different marketing strategy and operating procedure. So for MTV, they have found that while many of their programs that are run in United States are also popular in other parts of the world, but still it is important for them to localize the programming as well. So that's why they also have introduced the MTV Asia, MTV Malaysia, Thailand, and etc. So when the customer preferences and tastes differ significantly between countries, so the company need to adapt the products. Okay, so they have to make some amendment on their product and also in terms of their promotion strategy as well. Okay, so the second question is about the second question is about are there global customer. Okay, so global customer here means organization need to search for the world market for the best supplier. Okay, usually in this situation, PC manufacturer, for example, okay, they are global consumer. So PC manufacturer are example of global consumer for PC components. Okay, they need to search for the supplier for the PC component, so they are the global consumer for PC component. So in this situation, example Dell, they will work closely with the supplier, okay, that the supplier are worldwide lah, okay, is everywhere lah around the world, that provide 90% of Dell PC component. Okay, the last question here, can you transfer marketing? Okay, so the firm can be considered as global when they use the same brand name, the same advertising and channel of distribution. For example, Coca-Cola. Okay, the same advertising, the same brand name. So the company usually they will benefit from global branding through economy of scale. So the company can use the same advertising strategy worldwide using the same image, celebrity, and even advertising firm. Okay, so global brand tend to have the same advertising, marketing strategy as well as their look feel from one country to another. Okay, some of well-known global brands are McDonald's, Google, IBM, Microsoft, Amazon, Disney, Samsung, and also Apple. So this product and services or brand are relatively the same whether they are being sold in China, Japan, Russia, Europe, or many other countries or region worldwide. Okay, next, cost. Okay, the stage of the development, location and demography will vary between countries. So the cost of factor of production will depends on land, capital and labor. So usually the cost of labor, for example, are also different. Okay, so that's why we can find that many of multinational company that initially operate in their home country, okay, they will move their production to other developing country like Vietnam, Thailand, okay, China or India, because they found the labor cost there is much cheaper. The land cost also can be much cheaper lah. So they decided to set up the business to the developing countries. Okay, the question about cost, the first one here, are there global economy of scale? So to gain economy of scale, the firm must go global and sell worldwide. Okay, Tesco benefit from economy of scale because they have a large scale of business and they are constantly opening new store around the world. So they have about thousands of store, okay, over the world. And then as we know that they always open new store from time to time, they can produce more, so the volume of the production of Tesco increase. So with the large output, the cost per unit can be decreased, and this has given Tesco a huge advantage over other supermarket, especially those who are smaller in size. So another feature of sales strategy is they need to encourage customer to buy in bulk. Okay, Tesco, they will encourage to buy in bulk. So they have a special offer such as buy one get one free and etc. So this offer compel customer to buy in to buy more quantity. So this will in turn, okay, will give Tesco the advantage of selling more and consequently buying more, which in turn give them lower average cost. So company can achieve economy of scale by increasing production and lowering the cost. Okay, in this situation, they are able to get a lot of demand, so company can produce in large volume, mass production, then they can realize economy of scale. So specialization of labor and more integrated technology also can help to boost the production volume. So this will lower the unit cost, and it can also come from bulk order from supplier. Okay, so the question 2 is about, are there cheaper sources of low cost raw material? So multinational corporation, usually they will try their best to acquire cheap raw material, cheaper raw material from foreign country by setting up the plant in that location. So MNC, usually they will set up operation in developing country to gain the cheap resources like rubber in Thailand, palm oil in Indonesia, metal and etc. If the home country raw material is much cheaper, so better produce at the home country to avoid the additional administration and shipping costs. So the last question about cost, are there cheaper sources of highly skilled labor? For example, in the southern China, southern city of Guangzhou, China, 10,000 labor work legal hours teaching shoes for Nike at $95 a month. Okay, so therefore it gives a great incentive for the companies such as Nike to outsource the manufacturing work to China. Okay, so many of the US company also, they have manufacturing production or assembling production, assembly facility in Mexico, because they want to take advantage of the low labor cost in this country. So other than that, companies from US that in banking and credit card, they have outsourced call center to India because they want to take advantage of the lower wage cost. Because in India, the English speaking personnel can handle call from US efficiently. Okay, third driver, government. Okay, the question here, do the targeted country has a favorable trade policies? So government trade policies are different from one country to another. So sometimes the trade policy also different, depends on the product or industry. Okay, usually like Malaysia, okay, we will the government will charge high import tax on import car because they want to protect the Malaysian national car, which is Proton and Produa. And Japan, they will restrict the import of rice and they will provide subsidies for the local rice farmer to keep the foreign competition out of the Japanese market. So other than that, import tariff, quota, the local subsidy are example of trade restriction by reducing trade barriers among the member. Okay, and then the second question, do the target country have regulation that restrict operation? So restriction also happen restriction on foreign ownership, advertising, promotional content. Okay, that this has present more barriers for the MNCs. For example, restriction on foreign ownerships are the most obvious barriers in foreign direct investment. Okay, so how it typically take in the form of limiting the share of companies in the target sector, especially for the non-resident or the foreigner. Okay, a foreigner not more than, they will make a regulation lah. Okay, the foreign company or foreigner are not allowed to hold the ownership of the company more than 50%. It must be less than 50%. Sometimes to the extent they will even prohibit to have any foreign ownership at all. So foreign ownership is banned, for example, in the fishing and energy sectors in Iceland, and it also foreign ownership is also banned in oil sector in Mexico. Okay, competition. First question here, what strategies do your competitors use? So multi-domestic firms cannot remain with the same strategy. Okay, let's say if other companies that are applying transnational or international has attacked the market, so they need to change or transform to better strategy, which is transnational lah. As what we know, transnational is the best strategy. So example, IBM initially operate as an international firm. Okay, they use the international strategy. Later in 2007, they become more globally integrated enterprise, and the CEO decided to apply or adopt the transnational strategy. So from the beginning, they only operate as a hardware company. So later on, because of the good strategy, IBM has become an established service and software company, okay, in the global market. Okay, so second question, what is the volume of import and export in the industry? A high trade volume in such industry indicate that the industry is already globalized. Okay, so it means the firm can successfully penetrate and accepted by the global markets. Okay, so market also there is a high level of competition. So in this situation, firm need to seek advantage in a more global strategies. So example, industry which is very competitive with high level of competition is headphone and PC industry. Okay, so that's why Dell, HP, Acer, okay, Toshiba, NEC, so they will work hard in terms of upgrading their PC or laptop technology lah. Okay, they want to different, they offer uh, more powerful processor and etc. So handphone also we know is very competitive lah. Okay, they need to come out with new technology which is better than their rival. Okay, so this is for chapter 11 part 1. So later I will continue with part 2. Thank you.